now introduce a discussion on the cost of living.
Yes.
And I want to give you 2 minutes to tell us, in your understanding, what is the driver of this rising cost of living? And if elected president, let's say in the first 100 days, what would be the Agano proposals to reduce the cost of living?
I agree to what you're saying, and I think the 100 days for us, we will repeat that our agenda is corruption. Cost of living has been affected by corruption widely. And if we deal with corruption, I think Kenyans will smile back at us. And the first 100 days, one that was implemented yesterday, na ninajua unga haijateremka, 2 weeks ago, on our manifesto we launched that. We will introduce the subsidy of maize. It was introduced yesterday. Now Wakenya wameambiwa to wait for 2, 3 to 4 weeks for it to be felt. Jana nimepitia kwa supermarket, bado unga ni 230. So for us, we still have to bring the subsidy for Kenyans to be able to eat, because a hungry nation is an angry nation. For us, we're also planning to implement the pay cutoff of 50%. I know you'll want to ask where the deficit is going to come in. Our repayment period for the loan is 1.3 trillion. And the financial year, the last financial year, KRA reported that the payment that was done through the payee was 461 billion. So if we cut off the payee by 50%, that is 230 billion deficit. If we come and cap the repayment period, the repayment of the 1.3 trillion, kumbuka tutakuwa na ile extra 300, ile tutakuja kusongesha pale kwa payee, so that we are able to run our activities as usual and even have a small surplus of 7 billion to run with. That being amongst them.
Do you agree with her and the proposals to reduce the cost of living?
Okay, first, I can't agree with her, definitely, but cost of living is occasioned by inflation, number one. Too few goods, but there's too much money in circulation. Number two, taxes. When manufacturers have the tax burden, they push it to the consumer, and the consumer is not having any salary increase. So that is the reason we're having this. So let me say this. We are not going to do the 100 days, that's a lie. But we ask us after 1 year when you get into office, that one, we are going to widen the tax base. Why? I said marijuana is used in 9 sectors, across 9 sectors. Example, paper. We are going to give life to pan paper. Pan paper had been given life, but again, the logging law came in, so they don't have raw materials. We'll have marijuana that will be used for that. So our idea is to drive local economies whereby a Kenyan, instead of importing something from China, like the people of Nyamakema, their stuff was burnt for lack of quality, let them organize themselves, have local industries. If it's textile, plastic, paper, printing paper by the way is very expensive. So when we have local economies, we are going to widen the tax base so that a corporate tax shouldn't be 30%. We can lower it because we have more in the tax net. Another thing is to ensure that we give conducive environment for business. As it is, businesses are not comfortable. They are saying that lack of the dollar in the country is impeding their purchasing power in the global supply chain. So when we give a conducive environment, the economies are going to be there, Kenyans are going to be employed, and then we are going to have money. Then the other youth who want to be employed in these industries can go into the other thing of investment that I said. We are going to empower the youth financially.
Kidogo hapo, hata kabla usonge sana, kwa sababu umesema kwamba hamtaahidi wa Kenya kwamba katika muda wa siku 100 mtafanya hivi na kadhalika. Awali ulituambia bangi inachukua muda wa miezi 4 kukua, na umetuambia kwamba hamtaahidi kwamba mtatimiza baada ya miezi ama siku 100. Kwa hivyo yule Mkenya anakutazama sasa hivi hawezi kumudu gharama ya kununua pakiti moja ya unga. Kwa hivyo unamwambia nini?
Huyo Mkenya nitamwambia that the truth is tumeteseka miaka 30. 1 year tunaweza vumilia, but we are putting in, Kenyans need an honest leader. As it is now, hii maneno ya kusarakasi na siasa is what is getting us here. We are being honest. We are saying, of course, they have put in the unga imeshukishwa bei. But sisi tukiangalia the truth, marijuana also gives flour. We can look at alternatives to the challenges. If maize flour is costly, then marijuana flour can cook ugali, can cook chapati. And then cooking oil the seed produces cooking oil also. So tunaangalia kama hii ni expensive, we are going to use this. So the alternatives. So mimi naambia Mkenya, hatutawadanganya. Tumedanganywa miaka